Thanks so much for tuning in to watch this video. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and tap the bell to get notified when new videos drop. If you'd like to better support this DIY channel, don't forget to like this video, drop a comment, and give it a share. And if you'd like to drop a tip so that I can keep creating new videos for you guys, use the thanks button below.
Hi everyone. Here's the special message for this interview. If you guys follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you saw that when this interview was filmed on the first night of it, it was a 2-night show at the Whisky A Go-Go. On the first night, my camera of the last 6 years broke. If you saw on my stories, I moved mountains, rented a new camera to make these interviews happen. And unfortunately, the camera I rented was not as easy to use as the shop told me it would be, and I did not have enough time to learn that camera. So unfortunately, this interview is going to be a bit different than what you guys are used to because the video footage could not unfortunately be saved. I had a dear friend of mine and my video editor both try to fix it with AI software and they were unable to, so I had to make the executive decision that it was not putting my best foot forward to release that video footage. So this will be primarily an audio interview with the video clips in it that looked good enough to include. So thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. This is a DIY channel. We are now entering year 6 of Last Rockers TV, and my God, there have been a lot of road bumps of keeping this channel going. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, and supporting this DIY channel, my little DIY engine that is Last Rockers TV. I do it because I love it. I love the music. I love supporting the scene, and thank you again for being here. And please excuse these interviews. I have now since purchased a new camera for all stuff moving forward. I have filmed a new interview with that camera and it is absolutely gorgeous. So please look forward to that future content, and excuse this road bump here. But these bands are great and I didn't want to not release the footage because they deserve to be heard, and I hope you guys enjoy it still and get turned on to them.
With every drop of blood, misery takes over all. Fight for the ones that are gone. Fight for the ones that are lost. Fight for the ones that get. Fight for the ones that get lost.
Hi, my name is Erin Micklow, and I'm here with Mecha Wolf from the band Monster Wolf. How are you?
Great. I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. Really happy to get interviewed by you as well.
Yeah, we're here at the Whisky A Go-Go, where you just opened for Doyle last night and tonight. Can you talk about how these shows came together?
A little birdie from one of my close friends in the headlining band messaged me, and he said, "Hey, there's these shows going on at the Whiskey. You should get on them." And I did the proper moves to do that. And I also contacted the guys from Bomb Bold immediately. And I'm like, you guys need to get on these shows right now as well. So we made it happen. I'm one of those people. I make shit happen.
Till the end of time, eternal life awaits. Kings are gone, the fight is on, eternal moon awaits. I see a crimson eye. You're gonna dim my light.
Yeah, I mean, these last couple nights for both of us were pretty stressful here. I mean, we don't need to go into the details of it, but can you kind of talk about what goes into putting these shows together? I mean, you took a really heavy hand in it of really making it happen to get people to show up. You know, we did a ticket giveaway for these shows. Mm-hmm. Can you share some more of like behind the scenes of what goes into making your stage show a reality?
Well, more than anything, we are all in Tijuana, California. Our bass player that filled in tonight came all the way from Texas. So that already is a very stressful couple of sentences right there, right?
Yeah.
So I had to get everybody together. We rehearsed the songs in 2 days. I believe we had like 6 hours total of rehearsal time.
Yeah.
And that to me, like, that was like the first thing. Like, so we have that. Then also we drove all the way from Tijuana all the way here on the day of the show. So we got here right and load in time.
That's like
so
a
I was
lot
like,
for one day.
so
Same
they-
day.
I have like everybody texted me. Other people are gonna be on the guest list. Other people are trying to get tickets. All my friends and like other little situations that pop up here and there. And like I handle pretty much 99.9% of everything that has to do with Monster Wolf.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the social media, anything that has to do with the band, I completely do it all myself because I don't have a big team.
Yeah.
And you know, we're a small band right now. We just started about a year ago playing live shows. So to me, it's like one of those things where it's like I like taking matters into my own hands because I know I can handle it. And even though it's really stressful, it's really rewarding in the end. And if I let anybody else kind of dip their toes in it, they're not gonna do it right. So I'm like one of those like Thanos. If you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it yourself. So it might be like a little not egotistical or control freak, but I think it's the way it should be.
Go to the greatness, messengers of the wicked God, breathing out the blood, while fallen angel. That zombie from alone, looking to bring you.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that doing my show when I've had assistants. It's like somebody has to be the person in charge that wrangles everybody and kind of has the vision for the stage set. And like your stage set in itself is like you have a lot of props going on. You kind of have an aesthetic that you want the band to have. And it sets the tone for what the band is, especially you being a new band.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not easy. I wish we would have brought everything that we use on regular shows, but the space here is so small that we kind of had to give people like not a half-ass version, but like, you know, like 80% version of Monster Wolf, which hopefully next time we come back we're able to bring all the stuff that we have, because you know it costs a lot of money to put on a show, you know, and like I've invested a lot of time and money into everything that goes into the band, and I want it to look good, and I think like we're doing like the right thing little by little, you know. So I'm really happy, really, like honestly, but it's like one of those things where like I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really glad it's over. Like now I can hang out, I can party.
Yeah, I feel the same too. I mean, we both had our stresses, but I feel like the show tonight, there was a really solid turnout. The crowd was really stoked. There's a lot of different photographers and press outlets here. So you have that return on your investment. And, you know, I saw in one of your interviews that you did in the pandemic that it was a dream of yours to play the Whisky A Go-Go. And here you are.
I know. And it's crazy when we were like talking and texting and you pointed that out. I was like, wow, man, I don't even remember I said that. And like it's really cool, like, because I'm one of those people that like I'm really big on coming full circle. Like I was talking with somebody earlier from Doyle's crew that used to, you know, like work for Misfits and stuff, and he always comes to the LA shows. And I got into the Misfits because of Vampiro, this pro wrestler that was really famous in the 90s, and like now I'm kind of like the second coming of that wrestler. And it's like really cool that I get to not only like spend time with them, but they're like a family to me, you know, like Doyle and them. Like they're like the sweetest freaking people ever, you know. So it's like really cool just being here, being part of this. And, you know, like I'm one of those people that I'm completely all about following your dreams.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. However long it takes, follow your fucking dreams.
I think that's why we get along too, because it was like with all the obstacles that individually we faced, you know, yesterday and today, making, you know, our respective shows a reality. It was just like, no, we are not giving up.
But we made it happen. Boom.
Well, so let's talk about you're most known for your work as a professional wrestler. Can you talk about how that's influenced you as a musician? Because I saw in other interviews, you've always played music, but wrestling was kind of the thing that predominantly took over as your main career. and you've had many bands like kind of alongside the time that you were wrestling, and now you're making this one happen. Can you talk about how they've kind of crossbreeded, how your work as a performer, as a wrestler, has influenced your work as a musician?
Like I said, going back to like WCW days and the Misfits and seeing Vampiro, like to me that was like the coolest clash of pro wrestling and music, like my favorite band and the thing that I love the most, right? So I wanted to bring that little aspect from professional wrestling, the show aspect, into the music. So like every time we play, everybody's like, man, you guys put on such a great show, like you're such a natural. It's like, yeah, I've been wrestling for 20 years, so it's like almost comes like second nature. But it's also so freaking stressful because I could wrestle in front of 10,000 people, 30,000 people. That's fine.
Yeah.
I play the Whisky A Go-Go in front of like 200, 300 people. I'm like, oh my God, I'm having like 10 panic attacks. Right? So like, it's one of those things where like you have to just dip your toes completely in and just be that. Like, I brought this thing from pro wrestling. Like the whole idea was like, I wanted werewolves behind me because I'm Mecha Wolf. So I've already invested this money into all these masks that I use for pro wrestling. So I'm like, why not put them on guys in a band and just, how about werewolf band? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's worked so good so far. And I think I credit that because of the pro wrestling thing. Like I've been an entertainer all my life. When I was little, I would do talent shows and I would sing, and like I was always fighting when I was a little kid. So I was always one of those people that, I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised. You know, like from a small island in the Caribbean, from a very small town. So I was a dreamer. I was always been a dreamer. So I was like, you know what? Like, if I want to fucking have a band, I'm gonna make it happen. If I want to be a professional wrestler, I'm gonna make it happen. And thankfully, I have enough experience in the entertainment business that I could bring a couple of those things from pro wrestling into music and help out the band. Also, it's almost like you're skipping a lot of steps too, because like thanks to professional wrestling, I met a lot of cool people in the music business. So it's not like, oh my God, it's so easy, like, but it's really cool to know people. That's like, also to me, it's like, you gotta be cool.
Yeah.
No matter who you meet, like, being cool is free, right? So I always try to just be the nicest person I could be, unless you give me a reason not to be. And I believe that's gotten me really far. It's gotten me to a lot of rooms that I shouldn't even have stepped in the first place. And it really makes me happy because I work hard for it, and now I'm seeing the fruits of my labor. So
For sure.
Thanks to pro wrestling.
Yeah, and there is, I'm seeing it more and more. Like, I'm not so knowledgeable about wrestling, but it's becoming, it's always been a big thing, but where I see it is like a lot of these musicians in like the punk and the rock and the metal world are like kind of collaborating with the wrestling community. And that's where you see it. And like, even for you, for instance, with the league that you wrestle in, NWA, it's owned by Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. Can you talk about that and how you guys got together? And
so I met Billy 2012, I believe. So we met and we instantly like got along because we would never talk about music. He loves pro wrestling, so we would just talk about pro wrestling, talk about random stories. And he had a company in Chicago called Resistance Pro, and I was one of the first guys that were handpicked to be in the company. And after that company closed, me and him like not lost communication, but we would like speak here and there like after a few months. And then he bought the NWA, and like a couple of years went by, and he's like, hey man, do you want to like come to the NWA? I heard Conan is like a big lucha libre luchador from Mexico that usually is kind of like an agent as well, and just gets people bookings and like helps people get into different companies. And he had pitched me and my partner to Billy, and Billy's like, I know that guy. Of course, I want him here. And fast forward 2 years later, we've been the longest reigning tag team champions of Billy's company, and we just went on tour with him in Australia for 10 days, and we went to Mexico, like wrestling in front of 30,000 people in Mexico. So like, that's all because of the relationship I created with Billy, and also because I'm a really good damn wrestler. And so is my partner. So that's why we have the position we have. And not only that, like me and Billy have a relationship outside of pro wrestling, outside of the music thing, where we like, you know, message each other almost every day. We like always are shooting the crap or whatever we say. And it's really cool because he's a nerd just like all of us, you know, but he just has a lot of money. So like, it's just really cool to see how humble he is, and especially with us, you know, because like he has no business sitting in a freaking wrestler's locker room talking to them for hours before he has to play a show where he needs to be on vocal rest, and he does. You know what I mean? And that to me means so much. You know, like he'll grab his vegan food and go to our tent sweating and eat his food and talk to us about whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the type of guy he is. So like, to me, it's really cool to have that relationship, because to me, he's just not like Billy. He's just like, hey, WPC, bro, William Patrick. Like, that's just my dude, you know?
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So can you share some of your high and your low moments of wrestling? You were telling me about, you know, the big low one when you would like had your shot in the WWE and you like blew your knee out from an injury that was, you know, supposed to be healed, but it wasn't.
So to me, that was like the most heartbreaking moment of my whole career. So I'm going to talk about it because
I would imagine that's probably the worst one, right?
I spent about 2.5 years in WWE's developmental system, NXT, and you know, wrestled a lot of matches there on television, really short ones. And then finally, when I did get to the main TV, I blew my knee out. So it was like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why now? Why not after I signed my contract, you know? So it was like really heartbreaking, but like right away I was like, you know what? I'm going to get surgery. I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'm going to get back to it, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me. And fast forward, it's been like about 6 years, 7 years almost now, and I'm still here. You know, I'm in the best moment in my career-wise. And as far as like happy moments, I would say when we won the NWA tag team belts, we won them at the 73 anniversary in St. Louis. It's like our biggest show of the year, and there's never been a Puerto Rican and a Mexican tag team to win those titles. And Conan, the guy that pitched us to go into the NWA, he was in our corner that night. So to me, like me and my partner, we cried, you know, because like his mom had just passed away like about a year before, and like my mom, she's been gone for a few years. So like I told him right before we went out there, I like smacked him in the butt when we were in the ring, and I'm like, this is for our moms, man. Like we gotta go in, you know.
Yeah.
And we did, and we had a great match, and we made history. So to me, like that's one of my most memorable moments, and we had the belts ever since. So it was
That's
really
awesome. Oh.
So that everything, you know, gets better as long as you just
Yeah.
keep staying the course.
That's so awesome.
Take a step, walk to the light. Function up.
Actually, I saw you sent me a text that you have a children's book that you're about to be in. Can you talk more about that project?
So there's this guy, Paul, from Chicago that I've known for a few years. He's a huge Lucha Libre fan. Lucha Libre is like the biggest form of entertainment in Mexico.
Yeah. I had a friend from high school that became a Lucha Libre wrestler.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So
he was the one that got me into punk, and then he became a Lucha Libre
Oh,
wrestler.
wow. That's awesome. Small world. So yeah, he's like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this story on a children's coloring book about you. I'm like, well, I have upside down crosses in my makeup. Do you think that would be like pretty childlike? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. And
We'll
he
make them
sent me
little
all
stars,
the drawings.
little sprinkles.
He like sent me all the drawings and stuff and sent me the story, and it should be out sometime between the end of this year or beginning of next. And I'm really excited about it because I love kids, and I'm a kid at heart, so I think it's a really cool thing to be in a children's coloring book. So, and I got a new action figure coming out too. So
That is cool. That's really cool. So, aside from the action figure and the children's book, what else do you have coming up personally and professionally?
So personally, pretty much my life is professional all the time, so it's like kind of hard to. As far as like personally, I don't do anything else. I'm always working at all times, so it's almost like my life is personal, like professional the whole time. So we're actually Monster Wolf. We're in the studio right now recording our new single called Insania. It should be out in a few months. We just started tracking guitars and stuff like that last week actually, right before I came on this little tour. And that should be out pretty soon. We got a couple of huge shows. We have a big tour with the Smashing Pumpkins in the States. I think it's like 20 dates or something like that.
That's so exciting.
So when we come over, I'll let you know so you could come out. The catering's great.
And that's for wrestling, not the band.
Smashing Pumpkins with wrestling.
With wrestling.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots, and I think
wanna see
Interpol.
some wrestling.
Yeah, and it's pretty fun, man. Honestly, like, you know what's crazy? Like, all the people are like, oh, that's so stupid. They're like so into it. Because, like, I'm a big fan of, like, if you think you don't like something, go watch it live. Like,
Yeah,
if you
go
don't
see
think,
it.
if you don't like this band, go watch them live. If
Yeah.
you don't like pro wrestling, go watch it live. If you don't like UFC, go watch it live, and it'll completely change your opinion. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. We got the tour with the Smashing Pumpkins, new single coming out pretty soon, and hopefully after we're done with the single, I'm gonna start like try to build a tour for next year with the band, a small tour, and yeah, that's about it.
That's so exciting. Well, congratulations on everything. You guys were really great tonight. You had a lot of energy. You brought the energy last night, and like I said, last night we had a lot of road bumps. But tonight it was like we had that conversation last night when we were talking, hanging out. It was like, no, yesterday was the warm up. Today's the day.
Yeah, today we went in. Today we went hard. Yeah.
No, and you did such a good job.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed
you.
your set, and everybody else seemed to really enjoy it. The pit opened up huge for yours. It got a little scurry there.
Yeah.
A little scurry.
I saw you too. I saw you here. No, you're smooth. Like, okay,
And
I
then-
get it, Aaron. Like,
Like, no, nobody bumped the
Spencer
camera lens.
camera.
Not the camera. Not the camera. It's
Oh,
like any
Lord.
other time, maybe if you get enough drinks in me, I'll run around too, but not with the camera.
Yeah. Stay away from the camera, guys.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
Thank you for being here and supporting me and my band and everybody else. It's great to have you here as well.
Yeah.
My name is Mecha Wolf, lead singer of Monster Wolf, and you're watching Last Rockers TV.